Call Yahweh, Bahoshem, Yahweh Shai, Bahoshem, Rakak, Wadash. All right, double honors to my elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone. Okay, where I've learned this truth and where I'm still learning this truth. And also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. All right, so this is going to be back on the topic of Revelation 13 through notes, reading, and studying. Okay, so we left off with verse 3, Revelation 13 and 3. Or 2, excuse me. We're going to pick up with Revelation 13 and 3. All right. Okay, so this is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 3, and we're reading out of the King James 16:11. All right, Revelation 13 and 3 reads, "And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast." Okay, so head wounded to death. Okay, so this speaks of Rome, or aka the pagan Roman Empire falling. All right, so since Rome eventually fell, it led to a period of time known as the Dark Ages, or the Byzantine Empire. All right, Revelation, the 20th chapter, goes into this history. All right, so Rome fell, and Esau became a no people in the earth. Okay, in Malachi, you read where the Edomites say that they will build, all right, but the Lord will throw down. Okay, so after the fall of Rome, after the fall of the pagan Roman Empire, all right, Israelites ruled for a period of about 1,000 years. Okay, and then Satan was loosed from his prison. All right, which is that deadly wound was healed. Okay, so let's go to Revelation 20 in verse 1. And it reads, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand." Okay, hold on, let me see. All right, and verse 2, it reads, "And he laid hold the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years." Okay, so dragon, the old serpent, okay, that's speaking of Esau, Edom. All right, and in verse 1 of Revelation 20, right, that angel represents Yahweh Shai. All right, and the pit represents Europe. Okay, and the chain, it represents like right now we have a chain of darkness on us. All right, to where we just we can't get the laws right. All right, we're under the rule of the flesh. All right, sin. Okay, but that chain on the serpent, or that chain on the dragon, represented not being able to rule, being not having the power to rule. Okay, not being on top, not being able to deceive, just taking out of power. All right, we stated that they became a no people. All right, just like now with these chains of darkness, we're not we fell from being the sons of God, all right, to what you see today. All right, so So again, when it said in Revelation 20 and 2, it reads, "And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years." That 1,000 years was the Dark Ages or the Byzantine Empire. All right, a little bit of that, the Holy Roman Empire. Okay, so let me look at these notes again. Okay. All right, so it reads that the pagan Roman Empire, all right, was taken down around 457. Okay, so let's look this up. Let's see. Um, Typed in, when was the pagan Roman Empire? All right, it reads, the Roman Empire was pagan from its founding in 753 BCE until the establishment of Christianity in the empire in the 4th century AD. Okay, now let's read on some more. Early 4th century, it says the Roman Empire was still pagan in the early 4th century, and paganism was a major part of daily life. Temples to pagan gods like Jupiter and deified emperors were common in Roman towns. In many cities and towns relied on meat from animals sacrificed to these temples. Okay. Um, all right. So let's see. It reads, the Byzantine Empire is also the Dark Ages and the Holy Roman Empire when the Israelites were ruling. Okay, so let's look up. No, let me finish reading this. It says, while the Western Roman Empire crumbled and fell by 476, the Byzantine flourished and lasted until 1453. All right, 476 to 1453 is roughly 1,000 years. All right, when the Lord put that chain on the dragon for 1,000 years. Okay, let's find out about the Byzantine Empire though. Let's see if these notes are correct. Okay. Uh, Byzantine Empire. Okay, what do we read about the Byzantine in the notes? The Byzantine Empire is also the Dark Ages and the Holy Roman Empire when the Israelites were ruling. While the Western Roman Empire crumbled and fell by 476, the Byzantine flourished and lasted until 1453. So let's look at this. Okay, so listen to this. Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire, also referred to as the Eastern Roman Empire. All right, they had a Western and an Eastern. Okay, at one point, the Western fell before the Eastern did. Okay, the Eastern lasted for about 1,000 years more. All right, it reads, the Byzantine Empire, also referred to as the Eastern Roman Empire, was the continuation of the Roman Empire centered in Constantinople during late antiquity and the Middle Ages. The eastern half of the empire survived the conditions that caused the fall of the West in the 5th century AD and continued to exist until the fall of Constantinople to the Ottoman Empire in 1453. Okay? So the notes are correct. All right. Byzantine Empire fell in 1453. Okay? So I will read those notes again so you can hear it again, though. The Byzantine Empire is also the Dark Ages and the Holy Roman Empire when the Israelites were ruling. While the Western Roman Empire crumbled and fell by 476, the Byzantine flourished and lasted until 1453. 476 to 1453 is roughly 1,000 years. All right. Let me look up the Western Roman Empire. Let's see. When did that fall? When did the Western Roman Empire fall? It says, hold on. It says 476 AD, okay, which is what the note said. It says the Western Empire suffered several Gothic invasions and in AD 455 was sacked by Vandals. Rome continued to decline after that until 476 AD when the Western Roman Empire came to an end. Okay? It says the fall of Rome was completed in 476 when the German chieftain Odoacer deposed the last Roman emperor of the West, Romulus Augustulus. The East, always richer and stronger, continued as the Byzantine Empire through the European Middle Ages. Okay? I I typed in the search bar when were the Dark Ages. But hold on. This it'll probably go right back to what came up. But this damn spell check or whatever the hell. Let me see. Yeah, okay. All right, so listen to this. The Dark Ages. Okay, when were the Dark Ages? It reads the Dark Ages is a term used to describe the period in Western Europe between the fall of the Western Roman Empire and the beginning of the Renaissance. Okay, which roughly corresponds to the Middle Ages. Okay, the Dark Ages is often used to describe the early Middle Ages, 5th through 10th centuries, but it can also refer to the entire Middle Ages, 5th through 15th. Okay, 1,000 years. It says the term is characterized by a perceived lack of cultural and scientific advancement. What culture? What culture? What culture was lacking? It says other thinkers later expanded the term to include culture in general because it's a value judgment. The extent of the darkness is subjective and depends on the beholder's perspective. We know why you call it dark, the Dark Ages. Anyway, let's look at the uh there's a book. Let's see. and let me see, Empire of, excuse me. Here's a book. All right, I just want you to see this book. All right, I don't know. I can't tell where the screen is facing, but it's called the Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomite. Okay, so you know that the scriptures are touching on this. All right, so for 1,000 years, again, let's read that Revelation 20 and verse 2. It reads, and he laid, I'll start at 1. And I saw an angel, this is Revelation 21 and 2. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Okay. So again, dragon and old serpent is speaking of Esau. Okay. All right. The pagan Roman Empire was taken down around 457. Okay, the Byzantine Empire is also the Dark Ages and the Holy Roman Empire when Israelites were ruling. You'll hear about Moors that were all up in that area, um, and they were ruling. All right, Moors are Israelites, okay, that took on Islam, okay, but they were prospering, okay. All right, while the Western Roman Empire crumbled and fell by 476, the Byzantine flourished and lasted until 1453. 476 to 1453 is roughly 1,000 years. Okay, when Constantinople was taken by the Ottomans, the Byzantine had lasted around 1,100 years, so it didn't go completely down at 1,000 years, but it took some time. All right. So all of this ties back to Revelation 13 and 3. Let's read it again. It reads, and I saw one of his heads, as it were, wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast. Okay? One of his heads, as it was wounded to death. Okay? Which goes to Revelation 20 and 1. All right? And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. Okay? So the Almighty, through his Son, okay, that angel whom has the key to the bottomless pit, meaning he can basically open the door for anyone to rule. All right, he sets up rulerships and he takes down rulerships. All right, just as right now there is a chain on us. All right, for a period of time there was a chain on Esau, who was a no people. He was in caves, all right, and everyone knew not to trust him. All right, Job talks about this also in Job, the 30th chapter. All right, so he laid hold with that chain, the old serpent, because the Romans were Edomites. All right, Antipater, who is the father of Herod, was an Idumean. All right, let's look this up. I actually think we might even go over the scripture about, I don't know, let me see. says Antipater, who is the father of Herod. Hmm. All right, I typed in Antipater the Idumean. It says Antipater was the Idumean founder of the Herodian dynasty in Palestine. Antipater gained power in Judea by making himself useful to the Romans. In return for Antipater's support, Caesar appointed him procurator of Judea. All right, let's see. Hold on. What's going on? Hold on.
Procurator. Procurator.
Procurator. Okay. It reads, this is a definition. It reads, an agent representing others in a court of law in countries. Okay. Retaining Roman civil law. A treasury officer in a province of the Roman Empire. Okay. Let's see. Oh man, hold on. I don't know. Let's see. Antipater. Children of Antipater. Herod the Great. All right. So again, it says Antipater, who is the father of Herod, was an Idumean. Okay. All right, and that's what we just read here. There was a question down that you could scroll. You know, there was a question. You hit the thing, and it's a drop bar. Okay, that's what it's called. Drop menu. Anyway, it says, was the king of Judea Herod the son of Antipater the Great? And it reads, Herod was born around 72 BCE in Idumea, south of Judea. He was the second son of Antipater the Idumean, a high-ranking official under the ethnarch Hyrcanus II, right? And Cypros, a Nabatean Arab princess from Petra in present-day Jordan. All right. Let's see. Let's see what it says right here. This is just a. It says Antipater one of Macedon. This is just a little sidebar I'm reading. All right. We might. I don't know if this lesson touches on this or not. It might. But another drop down question was Antipater related to Alexander the Great? It says Antipater one of Macedon was the son of Cassander and Thessalonike of Macedon, who was a half sister of Alexander the Great. Okay. Anyway, now let's go to Revelation 20 and 3. All right. So these scriptures are true, man. It has real people in here, including our Lord and Savior. Okay. where are we going? Revelation 20 and 3. It reads, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. Now, what else did we read in there? Hold on. Okay, so let me just read on. It might come back to me. I don't know. So this is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan, right? What we just read in the scriptures is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. This speaks of one who comes on the earth to do the bidding, okay? The one whom would do what Satan would do. If you want to know how Satan would rule, just look at the world, okay? Now, look around you. All right, serpent in Hebrew is pronounced nalkash, all right, meaning to practice divination, all right, a diviner, or one whom works witchcraft, all right. Doesn't it sound like the man, all right, that was in the garden, all right, a diviner, okay, serpent, right, the serpent, okay. Serpent in Greek is pronounced of is, okay, office. Let me see if I can get this. I don't. Let's go here first. Let's go. Okay, again, this is a serpent in Hebrew. Serpent in Hebrew, okay?
Strong's H 5175. Nachash.
Nachash, all right? Nachash, okay? To practice divination, all right? Divine, observe signs, learn by experience, all right? Diligently observe, practice fortune telling, take as omen. Anyway, it reads to practice divination, okay? To practice divination. All right. Now let's go to serpent in the Greek. That was divine. All right. A diviner. Diviner. Okay. Now let's look at serpent in the Greek. All right. Serpent in Greek is this word.
Strong's G 3789. Office.
All right. The meaning reads, with the ancients, the serpent was an emblem of cunning and wisdom. The serpent who deceived Eve was regarded by the Jews as the devil. Okay? Esau was a cunning hunter. All right, let's go to Genesis 25, verse 27. All right, Genesis 25 and 27. And the boys grew. Okay, Esau and Jacob. All right, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. All right. In the NLT, the heading of above 27 reads, Esau sells his birthright, right? Which we're not going to read that far down. But 27 in the NLT, Genesis 25 and 27, as the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter. He was an outdoorsman, but Jacob had a quiet temperament, preferring to stay at home. All right, so we know that the serpent that deceived Eve was a man whom came with witchcraft, whom also is in opposition to the right way. All right, he doesn't like the righteous. Okay, we read about that in Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter. Let me make sure about that. Oh, hold on. We read about their thinking, how they think. Yeah, Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter, where it tells you how they think. Verse 10 of Wisdom of Solomon 2. Let us oppress the poor, righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient great hairs of the aged. Okay. Verse 12. Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not of our turn, or not for our return. Let me start all over. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 12 now. Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objecteth to our infamy and transgressings of our education. Okay. Verse 14, Wisdom of Solomon, second chapter. He, speaking of the righteous man, he was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us even to behold. Right? For his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. Okay? It goes on. It goes on how they feel about, the righteous way, the righteous men. All right? So again, we now know that the serpent that deceived Eve was a man whom came with witchcraft, whom also was in opposition to the right way, even back then. Right? Today, he, the serpent, okay, Esau, has a world system that allows him free reign to spread madness. And it starts with the Renaissance period in which he was reborn into the earth. Okay? Let's look at what this word Renaissance means. It says Renaissance. All right, let me see. Oh. Renaissance. Let's see. It reads a revival of or renewed interest in something. All right. Then it gives you this, the revival of art and literature under the influence of classical models in the 14th through 16th centuries. Okay. Let's see. But we want. Let me see. I was gonna get the. Let me see. Let me see if this comes up. These people like to play games with everything, man. Okay. It says from French Renaissance, from re, which means back, again, and naissance is birth. Okay. So what was it the rebirth of? All right. What is Renaissance the rebirth of? Okay. The Roman Empire. All right. Esau, Edom. I mean, not the Roman Empire, but it's the rebirth of Esau, Edom. Okay. And you could throw the Roman Empire into it. You could throw that into it, but Esau came back on the scene. All right, after that 1,000 years, because he was loosed, and we're gonna get to that. So let's go to Nahum 3 and 4. All right, Nahum 3 and 4. It reads, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcraft. All right, mistress of witchcraft goes back to the serpent in the garden. All right, the same serpent has become a dragon, or the whore that sitteth upon many waters, which are the nations. All right, through his democracy and actual witchcraft, including sacrifices. All right, America is an actual altar, a sacrificial altar. All right, Esau receives some energy from Hamites, the ancient Babylonians, borrowed from the Assyrians. The Assyrians weren't Hamites, but these things go back to Samaria, which is where I idol worship. All right, which is where idol worship started. Okay. So Nahum, who was in Nineveh, which fell and was the capital of Babylon or Assyria, had the same thing going on as now. Cross-dressing, right? Whores, things of that sort. All right. Spiritually, America was being spoken of, but these things were actually happening at that time. All right. In these times, when the nations wake up, they will come against this place. All right. All these nations are going to be mad at this place, America. All right. Gog and Magog is an example. Okay. Magog is the land, though, and Gog is the people. Okay. So after reading Revelation 20 and 3, you are meant to jump to verse 7. Okay. I'll stay on the technology just to move a little bit quicker. This is Revelation 20 and verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. Okay, and then we jump to 7, because Revelation 20 verses 4 through 6 speaks of a different 1,000 year period. Okay. So now in Revelation, and I hope you're following this. I know this is a lot. But we're almost through verse 3 of Revelation 13. Okay. Now, if you have to, just go back and rewind this, pause it, read, go look for these things in history. Okay. So again, Revelation 20 verses 4 through 6 speaks of a different 1,000-year period. All right. Revelation 20 and 3 again. Okay. It reads, "And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season." All right. The seal in this verse speaks of not being able to uproot or take down anyone. Okay. He was in the caves and looked at as a no people. All right. He wasn't able to form his lies until that 1,000-year period was fulfilled. After the 1,000-year period, what we know to be called the Renaissance period started. All right. Renaissance means rebirth, as we looked up. All right. The rebirth of what, though? All right. The rebirth of Esau, Edom, and all his ways. Okay. So we learn Roman numerals in school. All right. Doctors learn Latin along with lawyers. All right. This is all a part of the system. Okay. This is all a part of Rome being reincarnated. Okay. So now let's read Revelation 20 and 7. Remember, we jumped from Revelation 20 and 3 to 20 and 7 now. All right. The heading above 7 reads, Satan freed, doomed. Okay. Verse 7, it reads, "And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the 4 quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea." Okay. So does this mean literally that Satan is running around the earth? All right. I wrote down what I wrote down what I learned. Okay, what my teacher was telling me, and I wrote down everything, man, and it made me laugh a little bit. Anyway, so speaking of Revelation 27 and 8, does this mean literally that Satan is running around the earth, all right, with Converse on, with a Snicker bar in his pocket, in his back pocket, with his wallet and social security card? Okay, no, it's Esau. All right, whose coming is after the works of Satan. All right, 2 Thessalonians 2. 2 Thessalonians 2. Okay. Where's that? It's wild because we just read this today, I think, on an earlier video. If I'm uploading this. Anyway, we just read this not too long ago. 2 Thessalonians 2 and well, all of 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. Okay. It speaks of Esau, Edom. Okay. He being loosed and up to his old tricks, including being against the Israelites. All right. Being filled with blasphemy and deception, Esau would get the fatness of the earth, which is his blessing. Okay. Remember that blessing in Genesis. All right. Genesis 27 and 38 and 39. "And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, Thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Verse 40, all right. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Okay? And that's him being loosed. Okay? Being loosed for a little season. Now let's go back to Revelation 13 and 3. It reads, And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast. All right, when the wound was healed, okay, this came at the time of the Treaty of Rome. All right, this treaty gathered the old European nations and countries back again under the treaty. Okay, this treaty gave power to the Renaissance period, when all of Rome started wandering after the beast. Their way started being forwarded back into the earth. Wandering after the beast, speaking of marveling after the beast system, thinking it to be great. Okay, concerning the Treaty of Rome. All right, 2 treaties were signed on March 25th, 1957. All right, 1, the treaty establishing the European Economic Community, which is the EEC. Okay, and 2, the treaty establishing the European Atomic Energy Community, the EAEC. Okay, so let's look up treaty. Oops, hold on. Treaty of Rome. All right, it reads, the Treaty of Rome, also known as the Treaty Establishing the European Economic Community, EEC, was signed on March 25th, 1957 by 6 member states. This happened to be 6, right? Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. The treaty came into effect on January 1st, 1958, and is considered a founding act of the European Community. Okay, now let's look up the European Atomic, what was it called? The European Atomic Energy Community. European Atomic Energy Community. Let me just type it all out. European Atomic Energy Community. All right. Let's look this up. It says the European Atomic Energy Community, Euratom, is an international organization that was established in 1958 to promote European integration and address energy shortages through the peaceful use of nuclear power. Now, let me look up something else. Hold on. Euratom. All right, let's look at this. All right, now listen to this. I tried to throw you off and say 58. Anyway, the European Atomic Energy Community, Euratom, is an international organization that regulates civilian nuclear activity in the European Union. The Euratom Treaty, signed in Rome on March 25th, 1957, and entering into force on January 1st, 1958, established the community. All right. The treaty's main goals include promoting research sharing technical information, setting safety standards, and ensuring that civil nuclear materials are not used for military purposes, whatever. All right. Uh, the European Atomic Energy Community, EAEC, or Euratom, is an international organization established by the Euratom Treaty on March 25th, 1957, with the original purpose of creating a specialist market for nuclear power in Europe by developing nuclear energy and distributing it to its member states while selling. Hold on, let's see. I'm not going to click on that. All right, so again, this treaty gathered the old European nations and countries back again under the treaty. All right, this treaty gave power to the Renaissance period when all of Rome started wandering after the beast. Their way started being forwarded back into the earth. All right, wandering after the beast, speaking of marveling after the beast system, thinking it to be great. All right, so this system is being revealed and it is about to fall. All right, we are in America, so why call it the Treaty of Rome? Because they are bringing back that old image. All right, both communities' decisions were taken by the council. With this, life was breathed back into the old ancient Roman Empire. All right. So that was part 4 on the topic of Revelation, the 13th chapter. All right. We're not done with this. We are only beginning verse 4 in the next video. Okay. A lot of information, man. This is what it means by read, study, become a workman, rightly dividing the word of truth. And you can see what we mean by the Spirit had to be on the men of the Lord, all right, to go search these things out. All right. So with that, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth. And also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. All right. Lord willing, we'll see you in the next video.